Welcome to NDTV, Randeep.
Thank you for having me here.
So you own Royal Roosters, you've invested in this club. So what tempted you to invest in a sport like polo?
See, I've been riding horses since I was a kid. No matter what has happened in my life, I've always turned to horses for all kinds of support and therapy and whatever it is. And I find that, being on a horse, when you want to empty your mind, like people do yoga and do all that stuff, it's not just polo. I've got a Royal Roosters team. I'm trying to bring some structure to the sport because polo is as Indian a game as kabaddi. I had the opportunity and I had the exposure as a child to be a part of this community. So I'm promoting this sport.
Considering cricket is religion in India, followed by football, and in fact kabaddi is also, coming up in a big way on the sporting map. So, if you compare that to polo, it's a niche sport. So do you have any reservations there?
It is a niche sport and there is a certain, aspirational quality to it. That is the reason I've opened this club. It's Gurgaon Polo Equestrian Club. Royal Roosters are tied up with Golden Greens, which is a golf club. What has happened is that I have always realized that it is not the expense but the access to the sport which has kept people away. It is cheaper to hire a horse for an hour to ride than to hire a cricket pitch or a cricket net. It's niche mostly because people don't have access to it.
We've also been told that very soon, probably by next year, you'll also be coming up with a polo league. I mean, there are a couple of other sporting leagues as well.
I don't know whether I will come up with a polo league, but I will definitely help people come up with a polo league. It will really get us some advertising, a lot of money pumped into the sport. That is the only reason that I would like to have that. I think the polo circuit now is pretty good. But if there's a league structure, then people can follow teams and they can become entities in their own.
Now, a lot of sporting leagues have not been very profitable, and most of them get discontinued after a year or after 2 years because of the fact that they're not able to sustain, they're not able to make enough revenues despite the fact that they have sponsors, they have advertisers. Are you going to still continue with the league even if there are no sponsors on board?
I think that there is a point here that you've made which is very valid. But I think that like kabaddi, you can sell kacha and banyan and this sell.
And it's an indigenous sport,
yeah,
like polo.
Like polo. But with polo, we sell Cartier and Rolex and Range Rovers. So there is a huge, huge difference in the amount of sponsorship that we get in one go than other people will. So it is a great, great opportunity for people to come and advertise. We've got a great setup, we've got the great expertise, and now we are making all this effort to market it to people.
And how do you plan to market this?
Being on your show.
You are also endorsing a couple of brands. What is it that makes you pick up a brand for endorsement?
I think it has to match what I am personally, and if it connects with me, it will probably connect with other people. That's the purpose of an endorser. I've got Indian Terrain on board. Their philosophy of where they want to go matches with mine. I interact with them about their clothes, about what are they doing next season. It's more of a give and take because it is a part of me.
Also the fact that a lot of celebrity endorsers are coming under fire because of the kind of brands that they endorse. I mean, a couple of months back there was Maggie, right? And its brand endorsers, Mr. Bachchan, Madhuri Dixit and Preeti Zinta, were under fire because they endorsed that product, which eventually got into a controversy. And industry bodies have also come down heavily on brand endorsers for not taking responsibility for the kind of products that they endorse. How much responsibility do you think brand endorsers should have while they are endorsing a particular product?
Look, if something goes wrong with the product after you've endorsed it or something's been found that way, it's not your fault. So, I mean, how can you're not the quality controller of the product. So you can choose to move away, and if you do have a relationship with the company, you can have a chat with them and say they can explain to you why it went wrong and you can take a stand for it. It's up to you.
Since we are an advertising show, do you get influenced by ads, or have you bought something, you saw the ad and you were influenced by the brand?
Oh, for sure. If you want to choose from A, B, C, D, you see that advertisement, you like that imaging, it gives you a nice feeling. Especially people in the NCR, they're very brand conscious.
Totally. All the metro
So
cities.
polo is a sport for you.
Yeah. You've also worked with a marketing department of an airline. You've done a marketing course.
Yes,
so
I have.
The brand that you are today, how much would you contribute to that?
Zero. I mean, I think I'm not very good at it. I found that it was basically a course in common sense, but I felt that I could never do it. I never turned up. I've done those kind of jobs in, selling phone companies and all that, sales or door-to-door sales jobs in. No, that's not the thing for me. I think I always wanted to be an actor. So business side of an actor of mine is not so great. So now I need a team of those people who studied my course, were paying attention to it, to come and control brand Randeep. Brand Randeep was always going to be an artist, and that's what I followed. My most concerns when I do a role or whatever I'm doing, I'm not a part of the negotiations mostly. So I don't think of the brand Huda as much. I think it's getting formed the other way around. I've got a polo team. Now I've opened a club here in Gurgaon.
Since we are talking about marketing, promotions, and branding, these days films are mostly about marketing to a lot of extent. I mean,
Or to
commercial
a huge
success of the
extent.
film, to a
You
huge
can
extent.
flog a very average film and make it a huge success, and a good film might go absolutely unsuccessful because you did not find the right way to put it across. So it's very, very important. I think it's imperative. A lot of my movies have suffered because of the lack of that, not necessarily that they were bad films. And kiski film nahi chali? Randeep Hooda ki film nahi chali. And I take it on the chin, and one day somebody is going to, it's all going to fall into place. And every movie requires a different pitch.
With such intelligent insights, do you actually give inputs to the marketing teams? I mean, how much
I do.
part do you take in the
I
marketing?
I do, but that's not necessarily what they follow because I'm busy doing something else.
And you've rejected fairness brand endorsements.
I did get a very hefty amount of money for which my polo team would have played two years. I felt that I am a proud Indian. I like my skin. In fact, I have always got compliments for my darker skin. And here, we've got a country which is suffering from a colonial hang-up where fairer is more beautiful. So when we have to take pride in our color.
One last question before we let you go. Do you think trust in celebrity endorsers is kind of waning off?
It's absolutely waning off because there are not many of me out there.
Thanks for talking to us, and thanks for such a candid interview. All the best for your
My pleasure, my pleasure. Thank you very much.